Hey, it's Robbie here with Muddy Beards, and today we're going to turn the frameless into the shameless. Most people consider the Jeep Cherokee a great platform for off-roading. However, one of the problems is that the Cherokee is a unibody vehicle, which means that the chassis and the body are actually one unit, which is great from a manufacturing standpoint and not so bad for on-road or even light off-roading. The problem is when you start putting bigger tires on it and start doing a little bit more serious off-roading, they can be inherently weak because essentially they're just sheet metal folded together. So one of the most common upgrades you will see on a Jeep Cherokee is something they call frame stiffeners. And there's a ton of companies that make them. Most of them do their job just fine. They look good. They fit the unirail just perfectly. However, I'm not going to show you a video of how to do that today. I'm going to show you how you can make your own out of some 3-inch by 3-inch by 3/16 thick angle iron. Okay, so this is the uniframe channel. The uniframe or the uniframe channel, and it pretty much runs the entire length of the vehicle, and that's what we're going to be strengthening today. We're essentially going to be taking angle iron and plating the entire frame rail. As you can see, I've already got started doing this process. A little over a year ago I made a cross member, and I had the idea of using angle iron on the uniframe because I wanted something that was thicker steel to weld to when I made this cross member. I didn't want to weld to the thin uniframe rail. However, I wish that I would have done the process that I'm trying to show you today, which is used one full piece and actually cover the entire thing. I didn't, so now it's actually more work for me, but I want to show you how you can do it all in one piece. But the very first step you have to do is you have to get rid of all this old undercoating. So I'm going to be using a wire wheel to do that. Maybe go back and clean it up with something like mineral spirits and finish it to get it all down to clean bare metal with a very fine grit flap disc. So let's get that started first. Okay, once you got it taken all down to bare metal, so that it'll be all clean enough for welding, you're going to want to go and get your 3-inch by 3-inch angle iron. I don't know what I did with my little piece here. But I cut out a template, your 3-inch by 3-inch angle iron, but I cut out a template to show you how this would work. And again, if I were to do this all over again, I would want to use one piece. So I would measure all the way from the front where it starts to curve up, all the way to the back of where the leaf spring shackle starts, so that I can actually cover the entire midsection. However, there's something I want to show you because this is a 3-inch section, so this will represent the angle iron. If I line this up straight, that is straight on the frame, you will notice that it is not straight. The uniframe actually curves up right about at this midsection. So if I took a long section of angle and I just put it on here, eventually it's going to be like this and it's not going to fit. So a tip that I've seen to do this, to make sure that this fits properly, is to, and I'm going to show you with the cardboard and some scissors, is to actually make a cut like a triangle like this, so that you can actually bend. So you're going to want to like cut the metal, or cut a triangle out of the metal, and the amount of bend that you want to make, well, you got to cut it better than that than I just did, but the amount of cut that you want to make is determined by how much you want to straighten this up. So if I cut a triangle out of it, what I can do is put like a jack under it or something, because it's 3/16 and it's kind of hard to bend, and I can literally bend it up. Now I took way too much out here, but even if you do that, I could still fill that with weld. And so what that does is it makes it to where it was hanging down here, I can bend it so that it's straight and will follow the actual contour of the frame. So on the bottom, it's actually the same thing. You know, again, it's straight. So if I didn't do anything, it would hang down. And so in that same part where you cut the slit here, and I can move it so that it fits straight, on the bottom, because it's, you know, it's angle iron, so imagine I had pushed this up, I have to cut the bottom too so I can bend it up. And so in that case, all you want to do, and again I'm showing you with cardboard, and I'm showing you with is you would score it. So don't cut all the way through, just cut down, you know, maybe halfway, so that you can actually bend it and push it up. And that way, that piece of angle, you know, if it had the triangle cut into it, you know, I could bend it up, and if it was scored, you know, right across here, when I push it or bend it, it'll actually move so that it can conform perfectly with how the frame curves up here. Okay, so since I'm not going to be using one piece because I'd already made this, I got to cut two separate sections, one for the front and one for the back. But the principle of how to actually weld this thing on is the same. So I'm going to go ahead and measure my lengths, and I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to show you how I would prepare this to weld to the uniframe. Okay, so I got the piece all cut out. I've grinded it to pretty much bare metal, and I wanted to do my test fit, and it looks like it fits pretty good. Again, I didn't have to make any bends here. This part's pretty darn straight. There's one thing I want to show you though. See if you can see it here. There's a bracket right here that holds the e-brake cables on. And it has a bolt that goes through, and it has a bolt that goes through the frame right here. And so obviously it was up against the frame. I went ahead and unbolted it, and so that way I could slide in my piece of angle. I'm not sure how other frame stiffener companies work, if they just go around this, or if there's a hole for it, or I don't know. But I think I'm just gonna slide my piece in there, and then when I'm done, just mark a hole and drill and tap it and stick the bowl back in. So this might hang down 3/16 a little bit more, but it should be fine. So anyway, now that I got this on, the next step, as I'm trying to do this with one hand, sorry about that, but the next step would be, I mean, I could weld this on right now, but I think that it's going to be a lot stronger if I actually go ahead and drill some plug welds into this, so that way I drill some holes in it and I can actually plug weld it too. That way I can make sure it's nice and strong. So I'm going to go ahead and drill holes, and then the last step would be to weld this on. Ah! Okay, well here it is. I just got to push it back up into place, but there is the final product with holes drilled. And so I can actually weld right along the lip here. And so I've kind of showed this on another one of my videos actually. So, but you definitely, when you're welding the thicker metal to the thinner metal, I've heard with these things the best thing to do is actually stitch weld it. So do like, 4-inch sections where you focus the weld onto the thicker metal and push it onto the thinner stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. And then of course I'm going to fill in those holes that I drilled were plug welds. The only other thing I wanted to show you really quickly, and I had to do it to the other side, so I figured I'd have to do it to this side too, is underneath here. I don't know if you guys can see it. The light isn't that good, now it's not focusing, but the angle iron, the 3-inch angle iron, at least in this middle section, you guys can't really see it, there we go. Alright, anyway, it hangs over the lip and doesn't give you a very good room to weld to. So what my solution is, I'm trying to show you with 2 hands here, is I'm taking a piece of 1-inch stock and I'm just going to go like this and actually wrap it around, and so that it'll be, I think, even stronger that way. I ran out of 1-inch, so I had to cut a couple different pieces here, but it's basically going to fit like this, so that it looks kind of like the other side here where I did the same thing. And I had to put the 1-inch across here so that it could actually fit. So anyway, I'm going to get to welding. So essentially that's what I want to do across the whole thing, is just give it, on focus, there we go, give it some just stitch welds all the way across. I mean, they're a little crusty up there, but the thing's really going to hold now. Okay, well there's the final product. Does this mean I have a frame now? Just joking. It's still not a frame, but this is going to add a lot of strength and rigidity to the uniframe here. And what's really nice is I have a lot thicker metal that I can weld to if I ever wanted to add rock sliders, or maybe even add a cage or tie a cage into it or something. So again, all I did was focus. Again, all I did was stitch weld across the top, and then I did plug welds, and I just filled those in and grinded them down smooth. And then underneath, I had to add that piece of 1-inch stock right back here where the angle didn't quite meet the uniframe channel so well, and so I added that and strengthened it all up along the bottom as well. So that is how you can make your own frame strengtheners out of some angle iron. Thanks for tuning in to Muddy Beards. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. Maybe even subscribe, share it, tell your friends. Check us back for more videos, and we'll see you on the trail.